Hello YouTube, SentinalhMC here. Welcome back to more Tome Immortal Arena. In this video we're going to take a look at Guardians, which are the playable characters in the game, as well as the game's business model, because I'm sure you're interested in knowing about that. So, Guardians are the characters that you play in the game. They're just like on any other MOBA, they have their abilities, and you use them to, well, win the game. If we click on this, from the main menu here, we can click on the Guardians button to take a look at all of the Guardians in the game, either in a complete list like this, or you can break them down into roles and domains. But we're going to talk about all of this. First, let's talk about the business model. You can see here there's a starter pack and this Tome All Guardians pack, which is currently on sale. So if you're interested in the game, maybe you want to pick that up. And these cost Platinum. And Platinum is the premium currency. This game uses the League of Legends style business model, League of Legends and Smite business model of giving you a free rotation of characters to play, and you need to purchase additional characters using either the in-game currency, which is devotion, or which you earn from playing games, or the platinum, which you have to buy with real money. So if we click up here, you can see that you can buy 300 platinum for $2. And it keeps going up like that. You start getting bonuses up to this point. If you buy $20 worth of platinum, you get 3,500, and you can go all the way up to buying 20,000 platinum for $100 if you really want to. Okay, so 300 platinum costs about $2. And all the Guardians in the game cost 900 platinum. So the Guardians cost $6. Guardians cost $6 each. To buy, except for there's one Guardian in the game which only costs 100 devotion, so you can get him straight off the bat after you play your first game. They have a starter pack available, which allows you to get 4 Guardians, one from each role: a pusher, a tank, an assassin, and a slayer, and a oh, she's also a slayer. All right. Well, it lets you get 4 characters for 600 platinum. So if you're looking to get a couple of characters, this is actually a really good deal, because for less platinum than it would cost you to buy one guy, I keep wanting to use the other game, to buy one Guardian, you can get 4. Alright, so that's a pretty good one. This Tome All Guardians pack is currently on sale for 3,000, 60% off, expires in 5 days, and gets you all of them, if you want to do that. Although I don't really think, even though this amount of devotion looks pretty high, I don't think that it's going to take all that long to get to 7,000 devotion. So let's talk about why. You earn devotion for completing matches, but this game uses a type of in-game currency generation that I haven't seen in other MOBA games. In that, at the end of a match, you actually gain bonus devotion depending on which class of Guardian you're playing, and each one is different. So if you play as the Tactician, which is basically a support character, you will gain bonus devotion for using your abilities on your allies. So if you make sure to use your abilities on your allies often as playing as that character, then you'll get bonus devotion. If you're playing as a pusher who likes to kill minions, you will gain a bonus for, I believe, the damage you deal to towers. So as long as you're playing to your role's strengths, you gain bonus devotion. If you're playing a Slayer who focuses on killing other Guardians, you will gain extra devotion for every Guardian kill that you get. And if you're playing as a tank, you'll get bonus devotion just for taking damage, as well as using crowd control on enemies. So you can actually gain a decent amounts of devotion per game, even if you lose. I actually had a game where I won, and I only received... I won and I received 90 devotion for that game. And then I lost a game, but I still received 85 devotion, almost the same amount, because in that game I played my Guardian much more to its strengths. I was healing my other teammates much more often, so I was getting that bonus devotion. So I wish other League of Legends would put that in place, something like that, because it's pretty nice. So you can look to gain around 100 devotion, much less obviously if you lose and if you win, plus you get a first one of the day bonus per match. So getting one of these guys is going to take quite a few games, but there's another reason that won't actually take all that long, and we're going to talk about this in the context of these Guardians. So let's just click on one. We'll click on this guy. He's my favorite guy, and we'll take a look at what the Guardians have about them. Okay, so this is Malbus the Reanimated. You get a nice bit of lore. This symbolizes that he's a tank. This symbolizes that he is melee. You can see his abilities on the right side of the screen. Now, if you go to the Kixeye website, they actually have you can watch videos of each of these abilities in action, and they also have the recommended items on the site. So you'll notice this thing here that says Guardian XP, and we click on that. Playing a Guardian in matches will gain you experience points towards that Guardian, and that will unlock extra stuff. The first thing that every Guardian unlocks through this method is a bonus of devotion. 9 Guardian XP gives you a 200 devotion. So if you want to get devotion quickly, you can go and you can play the gods. I mean, I keep wanting to use Smite lingo for some reason. You can play the Guardians that are currently on the free rotation and get them all past this point. It doesn't take long at all to get 9 Guardian XP. You play a couple games with each Guardian, you get to the 9 Guardian experience. Suddenly you've gotten a 200 devotion bonus. If there are 5 characters on a free rotation and you play all of them to this point, then you suddenly got 1,000 bonus devotion, getting you much closer to that 7,000 that you need to unlock a Guardian. Now, the way that this works is that as you gain experience with that Guardian, you see I'm level 2 with Malbus, you unlock these additional things. So getting to this required 9 Guardian XP. Once I get to 18 Guardian XP, and this resets, by the way. Once you get to 9 Guardian XP, this is completed, and your Guardian XP goes back down to 0 for the next level, and you have to work your way back up to the next number. Then I'll get a dance, which isn't really all that interesting. But once you get to level 4, you start to get these relics. Okay, this one, Sapped Vitae, and what it does is it gives me an additional passive based that affects one of my abilities. So in this case, I would heal for 30% of the damage dealt to targets affected by my infected wound, which is actually pretty darn good because he uses that ability off cooldown every 10 seconds. Or or later, once it gets to level 5, I can get this Crimson Scythe relic, which means the cooldown of my fling, which is what throws people over me behind me, is reduced by 1 second for every 200 damage that I take. I don't really think that's nearly as good as the Sapped Vitae, personally, the way I play. Although this one seems really nice. When terrorized, when equipped, each enemy hit with fear of death gives Malbus 6% damage reduction. That seems pretty nice. And once you get to level 7 with a Guardian, they all have a special skin. I can't actually see what it is, so I don't know what it looks like. But you get a free skin for getting to 125 Guardian XP. This is actually 125 plus the 110 plus the 186 plus the 27 plus the 18 plus the 9. So this is the progression. So as you play a Guardian more and more, getting better at them, you also unlock relics that will allow you to specialize and make them a bit better. So let's talk about artifacts, because that's what relics are. This is the relic slot. You have 1 relic slot per Guardian. Now, I have this core relic in here right now. You just get this straight up, and there's no reason not to take it. Until you get an actual relic for this character, you would be silly not to take this. You get one. This is basically the replacement for runes. You know how in League of Legends you have runes that you can buy and that will give you bonuses to your stats. This is somewhat similar, but you only get 1 at a time. So this is why this one gives me, when entering recovery, your Guardian gains a shield equal to 8% of their maximum health. And I can slot this into the relic slot for all of the tanks. Okay, this is the tank relic. Only tanks can have this relic. It's the tank core relic. Slayers have one, pushers have one, everybody has one. Okay? But those other things that you notice, these things are also relics. So once I get to one of these, I have to decide whether this bonus is worth more to me than this bonus, which it obviously is. But you don't get to have more than one. Blessings are something entirely different, and they're earned in a similar yet different way. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But let's get back to the Guardians. So Guardians have different roles. So we have pushers. And pushers are characters that like to kill minions and damage towers. Their abilities tend to be damage-based, and they tend to be somewhat in between a Slayer and, well, no, somewhat in between a Slayer and a tank. They're more healthy than a Slayer, but they don't deal nearly as much damage as them. This guy, Osric, who I played a bit when I first started playing Tome before it came to Steam. He has a charge that deals that damages when he hits people. He has a basically this is an auto attack multiplier almost. He has a damaging ability which if he kills things with it, and yes, this does mean if he kills a minion with it, it will heal his nearby allies based on his max health, and that also heals minions. So the way that Osric pushes lanes is by killing things, minions with a Divine Strike, thereby healing his own minions, causing them to push harder. He also has a spin where he spins for 3 seconds, dealing damage, and his ultimate shields him. So he's not going to deal nearly as much damage as somebody who's going to be killing Guardians all day, but he's going to be able to push the lanes and take the towers. You also have Slayers. These are your assassins from games like League of Legends. They specialize in just killing people. So if I click on Morlock, I've actually played him in practice, which is another interesting thing. Even though you have to unlock these Guardians by using in-game currency, you can play all of the Guardians in practice mode, which is just you against AI. So if you want to, the game allows you to try out these characters as much as you want before purchasing them, which is very nice, even if it's just against bots. Anyway, this guy is a Slayer, and he is strictly focused on damage. All of his abilities deal damage, except for one. This one is just hits the enemy and slows them. This one deals damage, but it deals twice the damage if he's behind the enemy. This one makes him gives him bonus movement speed to help him catch up to enemies, and makes him invisible. And this one is just a straight up, he jumps on you, deals damage, it's an execute, and if he kills you with it, it doesn't go on cooldown. So this guy is straight up damage, and that's Slayers. And then there are Tacticians, who are your supportive characters. I currently have this guy. And they're mainly there to buff your allies and debuff your enemies. You use Tacticians to set up big plays. So this guy has a rather nice heal. He heals instantly 86 and then 104 over the next 4 seconds, which is quite a nice chunk. I believe this is based on his health. I'm not sure. Probably not. Spirit Owl, this is just a silence and a damage. Binding Roots is a root, and Blinding Wings blinds the enemy and deals % of their maximum health as damage. So this guy, and he's a ranged character. So this guy is not going to deal nearly as much damage as even, let's say, a pusher, but he is going to be able to deal damage over time, and he's going to be able to hold people in place and inhibit their ability to fight back against his allies. So that's what Tacticians do. Basically like supports from other MOBA games. And then you have the tanks, like my main man Malvis, who are good at soaking up a lot of damage. But they can actually still deal a decent amount of damage, but they're more reliant on their abilities, and they're not going to be able to sit there auto-attacking somebody and deal lots of damage. You will be able to get one straight off the bat, this guy Carr, as part of the tutorial when you first start the game. He only costs 100 devotion, and so after your first game, you'll be able to get this guy, so you'll have him straight off the bat. And he's based on fire, and he's pretty darn cool. So, you also notice this thing that says domains. So what the heck are domains? This goes into the lore of the game, as well as the progression system. So, the game's story, basically, is these 6 gods are fighting each other, and the way that they're doing that is by choosing exceptional people or creatures or whatever, or creating their own guardians. They empower these guardians and they pit them against each other. So you've got these 6 gods that represent the 6 domains: the air domain, creation, water, earth, death, and fire. And these guys are obviously opposed to each other. So the way this works is that if I click on Marith, the death, and remember that Malbus, the guy that I've been playing, he is aligned with the death domain. Every game that you play as a guardian of a certain domain gets you progression towards the domain. Now, the progression in this is much slower than the guardian progression, but it is ongoing. And once you get to various milestones, you will gain blessings. These are those 2 slots. You can take 2 blessings with you into battle. So this first blessing that Marith will give me when I get to 500 favor will increase my experience gain by 10%, straight up. The next one is called Notoriety, which just lets me start the game at level 2. And then there's Death Wish here, which my Guardian's damage is increased by up to 12% the lower my health is. And then at level 5, this is true for all of the domains, you just gain 1,000 favor. So there are a lot of ways to gain favor, extra favor. I mean devotion. And then up to level 6 you gain 2,000. So there are lots of ways to gain extra devotion, which is very nice. So that's the domains. Each one of these domains have completely different unlocks. I don't know if you can only use these for the Guardians in that domain. It would make sense. But you can, as you play these characters, you will just gain progression in the domain to unlock extra stuff. So there's quite a bit of out-of-game progression, and I think they do it quite well, because all of this progression stuff is not based on spending in-game currency. It's based on actually playing the game. And there's only one way to sort of speed this process up, and it's not really all that bad. If we go back to the main menu here, we can see this premium button at the bottom. So you can use Platinum to purchase a premium account, basically. 300 for 1 day, 1,000 for a week, and 2,000 for a month. So obviously I don't think there's any point at all to buying the 1 week, since for only twice that much it lasts 4 times as long. So if I was going to get this, I'd probably just bite the bullet and get this, but I'm not going to get any of these. This just boosts your devotion, Guardian XP, and favor that you gain each match by 50%. So yeah, it's basically an XP boost. But you can't straight up buy blessings, you can't straight up buy artifacts. You have to play the game to actually unlock those things, which I like quite a bit. So that's a bit about the business model and the Guardians. But if you still think that, oh, it's going to take me forever to get a Guardian, take a look at these quests of the day. Into the Flames. Complete 5 matches in either co-op versus AI or PvP. Complete 5 matches, not win 5 matches, and you get Seraphine. You just get the Guardian for free after playing 5 matches. I will tell you, I unlocked this guy, Oberon, for playing 1 match. Okay, I played a match. The daily quest was play a match, get Oberon. Oh, no, play 3 matches and get this guy. So I played 3 matches in that day, and I got this guy. Then it instantly gave me another quest to play 3 more matches and get this Orlan guy. So I did that. I played 3 more matches and I got Orlan. Now it's telling me to play 5 matches and get Seraphine. So you will get if you just play matches of this game, you will get a roster of Guardians that you'll be able to play all the time. You don't have to be at the mercy of the free rotation, because you'll get this guy straight up for only 100 devotion, you'll get this guy for playing 3 games, this guy for playing 3 games, and then you'll get Seraphine for playing 5 games. And I'm not sure if this is the last one. I'll have to play 5 games in a day, and I'll have to see what if that's the last one or not. But even if it is, that will give you 1 character from each role, because this guy's a tank, this guy's a tactician, this guy's a slayer, and then Seraphine is a pusher. So the game will give you a roster that you can keep and that you can gain experience with on a consistent basis. But as you can see with Malbus here, you don't have to own the character to gain Guardian experience with them. So, like I said, when free rotation comes, you can just play all of those Guardians up to this currency level to get a bonus of devotion. So I don't have a problem with their business model. They're using the League of Legends model, but they're also putting in lots of different ways to earn extra devotion, and everything is based on playing. It's actually a better business model, in my opinion, than the League of Legends model, because there's no runes. You gain these relic and blessing bonuses through playing the game. And anyway, it looks like my game has just crashed, so I guess that'll be the end of the video. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm SentinalhMC, and I'm signing out.